Okay, I was just tagged in a video where a woman has a story about the Rothschilds, and I thought perfect time to go back over it in the encyclopedias. So I just did it in the one from the 1920s. Then I came to look for it in the 1890s, and I couldn't find it. I was like, what the heck's going on, right? The page turns. So it goes from this, and I was like, what is going on? Okay, well, hold on. Well, there is a page, right? And there's Rothschild. The page is literally not separated, like just not even cut apart. Like, look, it wasn't sealed back together, like it was never separated. I'm going to say that's not a coincidence, but I'm also not going to tear it apart. So let's go ahead and go over Rothschilds. This is the Chamber Encyclopedias from the 1890s. The well-known family of bankers take their name from the sign of the house, Zum Rothen Shield, or Red Shield, in the Jews' quarter of Frankfurt, in which their ancestors live. The real founder of the family as financial magnates was Meyer and Amschel Rothschild, who was born at Frankfurt in 1743. Although educated for a rabbi, he embarked in the banking business at Hanover and, having saved a little money, started for himself as a money lender and a dealer in old coins in his family home at Frankfurt. He won the confidence of the Landgrave of Hesse, who entrusted his finances to the Jews' management. The current story that he successfully hid the fortune of the Landgrave from the French invaders in 1806 and was through his patrons' gratitude allowed to have the almost free use of it for some years, and so by this means laid the foundation of a large fortune, is extremely doubtful. Now that's what the one in 1920 says also, that Napoleon gave him his wealth during the war. He kept it safe and Napoleon let him use it with no interest for 5 years, and it was like $500 million. The beginnings of his fortune were in all probability less romantic. The Rothschild house got a heavy commission for transmitting money from the English government to Wellington in Spain during the 8 years of the Peninsular War. They managed the large private fortune of the Landgrave. Through them, the British government made its payment of subsidies to continental princes. They negotiated large loans for Denmark between 1804 and 1812. At his death on the 13th of September, 1812, Meyer Amschel Rothschild left 5 sons, all of whom were made barons of the Austrian Empire in 1822. Now, what exactly gave them, like, that's just insane. Just because they're rich? He's like, we're in charge. Anselm Meyer, the oldest son, born in 1773, died 1855, succeeded as head of the firm at Frankfurt. Solomon, 1774 to 1855, established a branch at Vienna. Nathan Meyer, 1777 to 1836, a branch in 1798 at London. Charles, 1788 to 1855, a branch at Naples, discontinued about 1861. And James, 1792 to 1868, a branch at Paris. Apart from their very extensive private banking businesses, these houses have been deeply concerned in negotiating many of the large government loans of the 19th century. So the Jews have controlled the government for so much longer than most people have even realized. The cleverest man of the 5 was Nathan, who really lifted the house into its position as first amongst the banking houses of the world. He pinned his faith and staked his fortune on the success of Britain in her great duel with Napoleon, and it is said to have been present himself at the Battle of Waterloo, from which he hastened home to London, where before the results of the battle became known, he had sold and bought stock that brought him 1 million sterling clear profit. Yeah, I'm going to guess that didn't go that way. He was succeeded by his son Lionel, 1808 to 79, who distinguished himself by his efforts to effect the civil and political emancipation of the Jews in Great Britain. The present head of the London branch is Lionel's son, Sir Nathan, born in 1840, who succeeded to the baronetcy, I don't even care, conferred in 1847 on his uncle Anthony. He was raised to the peerage as Baron Rothschild in 1885. His niece Hannah, 1851 to 90, was in 1878 married to the Earl of Rossbury. See Reeves, the Rothschilds, and Dehos Rothschild. What should we go over next?